Hi, this is Frank Schaefer. I am a painter and writer. My books include novels like Portofino and Saving Grandma, and nonfiction works like my memoir, Crazy for God, about my journey out of the evangelical far right to a more liberal, progressive worldview. You know, something interesting has happened with the founder of Starbucks, Schultz, coming up with the idea that he might be the answer to our country's problems and running in the race. It brings up an issue that I think we gloss over as Americans, and that is that we are all, at heart, libertarian Ayn Rand disciples that worship wealth. It's why Donald Trump is president. We worship wealth. We even worship con artists like Donald Trump who pretend to be wealthier than they are and hawk their success at conning people as somehow a victory that is beyond question. With Schultz running supposedly as a fiscal conservative, but a libertarian or liberal when it comes to social issues, aside from the stupidity of his running and thereby perhaps handing Donald Trump another 4 years of ruinous presidency, another issue comes up, and it's the same one we should have been asking all along, including evangelicals should have been asking about Donald Trump. Is the acquisition of massive wealth a good in itself? Why do we accept this idea that unfortunately even people like Oprah came up with in her television show of worshiping success only defined in career terms or money terms? What about looking at success through a completely different lens of people who are the rock that others can build lives on, that you can trust and count on? The mothers, the fathers, the grandmothers, the school teachers, the child care people, the folks who get married and have families when they don't have enough money and struggle forward anyway to provide love for people. I think we're going to continue to get these self-regarding billionaire types like the Koch brothers, Donald Trump, Schultz, and others, thinking that they are God's gift to mankind somehow, as long as we worship wealth itself rather than the actual qualities that make for happy, good, and fulfilled lives. When you look at Schultz, for instance, a question arises, and that is, why would someone run talking about themselves being progressive in any way when their idea of being progressive is to build an earth-destroying company that has literally trashed the environment like almost no other company on earth, with its plastic straws, its plastic-lined cups, and the lids and all the garbage that clog our oceans now, due to people like Schultz who somehow we don't even question how they got wealthy. You know, as someone who happens to love Italy, I don't like drinking an espresso out of a plastic or a paper cup anyway. It gets cold right away. It's not the way that it tastes good. I grew up going to Italy a lot, and you always had your espresso or your cappuccino out of a china cup, and you stood in the bar there and had your coffee and talked to other people. The whole idea of taking out something like that and ruining the social connection that went with a cup of coffee, exchanging greetings with your neighbors and so forth, would have been totally foreign to any sustainable type of culture. Not just sustainable in terms of the environment, sustainable in terms of social connection. We have really taken a nosedive on these billionaires that have given us not just the social connection busting social media that we all rely on now, but this idea of a takeout economy where you don't stop to talk to people, you just grab something and go. So I think when it comes to Schultz running, we should first of all look at his earth-busting company. Why would we want anyone as president who built a company on trashing the environment with plastic? Why would we even listen to a man like this? Why would he be given a platform? It's because he's wealthy. Let's quit worshiping wealth as a good in itself and start instead upholding social responsibility, care and love for others, connection with other human beings face to face as the ideal that we are after. And let's look for leaders whose life of work demonstrates that they care about those things, not just simply making a buck. Thank you. My name is Frank Schaefer.